There we go. Oh, I think we're good. Okay, I think we're all good. All right, we're gonna talk about using an MPC server using Claude Code. So actually using an MCP server inside Claude Code. How we get it set up, how we use it, how we check to make sure that it's working. And then we'll actually use the MCP server and give it and have it do something for us and have us build something. And so what we have here is a terminal window. We've got a terminal window, and I've also got just a markdown file that sort of describes the app that we're going to build. But we don't have to go into that yet. But first off, the first thing you want to do after you've already installed Claude Code CLI and you've logged in, you would type Claude and you type MCP list, and this will give you a list of all the installed MCP servers. Obviously, when you're just getting started, there won't be any MCP servers. There'll be none. You will have none in them here. And it says use Claude MCP add to add an MPC server. So you'll typically do this using probably a node module with over NPM. And it goes like this. You say Claude MCP add, just like it said before. And I like to add a little bit extra to this. I like to add -- scope user. So that way it installs the MCP server to work in all of the repositories and all the other directories. If you don't add that, then it'll only work for that local directory. And then you'll have to continually manually re-add your MCP server over and over and over. So it's kind of a problem. So we're going to say pubnub in this case, scope user. Then you say -- to specify the MCP server command. And that's going to be, in this case, what is it? I think it's npx, right? So npx-y at pubnub/MCP. And then that should it'll download it through npx and resolve the dependencies. And it looks like added MCP server with the pubnub command. Okay, so I think it works. So in order to check to make sure that it's working, you want to say Claude MCP list, and then it will list out, and then it should say like connected with a check mark, and it's checking the health of the MCP server. And so that's what we should see is a healthy check mark on the MCP server. It should come up here within any moment now. There it goes. Okay, so we see here we've got our pubnub npx-y MCP server, and it says connected, right? So that's the important part, is you've got this check mark right here where it says connected, and then you know that you're ready to go. So all you have to do is type Claude and enter the AI agent, the AI code agent, who's going to build something for us today. We are going to be building a Twitch-style multi-user streaming app, for example. So that's what we're going to build. So actually, you can issue / commands in Claude, including MCP, to see what is going on here. Which is great because, look, check this out. You've got pubnub connected, and then you can enter on it so you can get more details. You can see what's available. By connecting the MCP server, how do you use it? What's available inside it? So you can actually go further. So let's dig in. Status connected. It's running through npx. Other kinds, you would see Docker. You might see a Docker command there as well. You can see the arguments. Then you can see where it's configured. So this is, a global configuration. This is going to say this MCP server is going to be available to you from all your different projects, which is fantastic. This is what we want, because we don't want to have to continuously reinstall it every single time. So we have several tools here. Looks like we got quite a few. We've got some documentation that helps improve the context. Then you've got some commands such as sending a message. And also, I believe there is receiving a message. And then there's a couple other things as well in here. So the things that we'll be mostly focused on are reading the docs, because we're going to be building a pubnub app. So in order to invoke the MCP, you need to give the model a hint in your prompt to invoke the MCP. And you have to do that by using keywords. So write a pubnub app, and then that is like generally enough to get it going. You could also add using pubnub MCP server, just to make sure that it definitely is going to call the MCP. It might not. You never know. Sometimes it doesn't. But in this case, it definitely probably should. To build a Twitch style, what we want to do is build a Twitch style app with live streaming and chat with a chat on like the side, right side of the video. There we go. And then, is that enough? If we do that, let's go into plan mode really quick. So what you do is you hold Shift and you press Tab on your keyboard to enter in plan mode. You just use Shift and Tab, and that will shift it between the different modes. And so we're going to plan mode here because we want to see. Oh wait, I almost forgot one thing. We also have an architecture.md reference the architecture.md file for guidelines, like guidelines and specs. So that's what we want. We want to be able to give the model a little bit extra context. So I should be able to press enter. It's going to run the MCP server, run the tool. It's probably going to ask a few questions to give permissions to run the tool. And then it will also read our architecture file here. So let's see if it actually goes. We should get prompted here next with a yes, no, or something to read the MCP docs. Let's see if it works. Let's see if we got here. This is what. This is it right here. We did it. Okay. So it wants to use a tool from the MCP server, write a pubnub app, and this is going to give it some boilerplate instructions. And so we'll say yes, don't ask again, because it's just reading information. There's not really anything that we have to worry about from a permissions perspective going forward on that, because it's just reading docs. And so we want to see it might also call another MCP. Here we go. Okay, so is this is our next phase. Okay, so let's read through this really quick. Here's the plan. A Twitch-style live stream app.
User input.
And we want the project structure to be front-end client, CSS and HTML output, video reactions overlays, Twitch, which is great. So HTML5 video, and just kind of looking through the rest of it here. I think that's basically all what we're looking for. And this should be able to build our UI. Let's see. Let me double check. The app will follow the exact architecture patterns defined in Architecture MD using the MCP server for all real-time functionality. That's exactly what we're looking for. This is like a perfect demonstration of an MCP server is helping guide through extra context the AI model, the Claude Code in this case, to build to our specifications essentially. So let's do it. Yeah, I think all we do is click. Oops. Wait, what did I click? I think I clicked yes and don't ask me again. But it's also possible that I clicked a different yes. I'll have to go back in the video to see what it said. Which one did I clicked one of the yes buttons, because clearly it's off to the running. I'll just click auto accept edits here. I'll shift tab into it. I think that's what I did. I clicked yes, but confirm to me all the different things. So here it goes. Off it's up to running. It's creating. No, now we just basically sit back. Really, we sit back and it should build everything for us in this case. The UI, everything all in one, and it's really simple, really super easy. Using the MCP server, it helps streamline that experience quite a bit. And it is using. Yep, there we go. Using our SDK, and then it will. Build the client configuration and connection, implement the real-time chat functionality, video overlay, view counts, presence indicator. And it's probably going to make it look like Twitch is what it's saying here. So it'll be purple, right? It's going to be purple coloring. And then they'll implement the RAID notifications and events. And then it looks like it's going to test it for us. We'll see how it goes. It's definitely going to take some time here, a little bit of time. It's going to go to make that possible. While that's going, I also wanted to. It'll notify us, so I can tab out. But I also kind of wanted to check out this article here while the code is being written for us in the background. I was really curious about this infinite pixels in CSS. This is like a new a keyword in CSS called infinite. I'm pretty sure, yeah, or infinity. It's a new keyword called infinity. And I was actually just kind of curious about it because what would that even be useful for? Why would you need an infinity in CSS? Because if you say infinite width, that means wouldn't your scroll bar just would scroll on forever in this case? Why is it a fun trick? I'm kind of curious just to walk through this really quick, just to I don't want to go all the way in, but I do want to try it out, and I wanted to test it, and just see what it looks like. So in this case, we don't have to go too greedy. Infinity keyword div calc infinity. So this is infinite width and height. So it's a div in this case that has infinite dimensions in both directions. Well, I mean, all the way over to that direction, up and down and left and right, essentially. So why would you even need that? Like, do they answer that in here? Why? I can't hazard a guess as to why this sort of value would be limited. Oh, okay. So when they do the calculation, I'm reading here, when they do this calculation, it's saying these element sizes in this table. So it says the browser says 33 million, same for Chrome, but Firefox is a different number. Wait. So it's either 19 divided, it's 17 million? I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure. Or 8 million. Not totally. It's not obvious what's going on here. Because 24-bit values. Interesting. Maybe that's what, because in CSS, you don't really need anything more than 24-bit value in terms of like color or numbers, because from a layout perspective, you only have a finite canvas. You have a finite canvas. And so there's no real reason in this case to leverage it. Let's take a look at see where our progress is on our MCP server really quick. It's still thinking. It's still going. It's most of the way through the list. Let's see here. Oh, hey, plush list. What are we doing? We're doing a couple things. Plush list. We're doing a couple of things. Right now, we're waiting on we're testing MCP server. So we got Claude Code. We installed the MCP server. Actually, you can kind of pipe up here really quick to the top so we can see. So you can run Claude list, MCP list, which will tell you have nothing installed, right? And so in order to add MCP server, it's actually pretty easy. You say Claude MCP add pubnub, and then my favorite option is scoping to the user. Because when you say scope user, that means essentially global. If you don't put that, you'll have to constantly re-add the MCP server every single time you run in a new project. And it's kind of a lot of extra effort. So it's just a lot easier so I recommend using scope user like this. And then right after it is the MCP command. So npx-y at pubnub/MCP. And that will give you the MCP installation. Once it's there, you can run MCP list, and it will tell you that it's connected with this check mark. And so what we did was, now we're actually using it. We're using this model, and we wanted it to write we want it to build Twitch for us. Let's build Twitch, like a live stream. I know we're on YouTube right now, and we're live streaming on YouTube, but we're building Twitch. So that's what we're doing. And it gave us a full guide on how it's going to do that. So it's almost done. And while we're waiting at this moment, while we're waiting for it to be done, what we're going to do is we're just reading through this article on CSS because it's impractical. They've got this weird impractical keyword called infinity, and I have no idea what we're going to do with it. Like, what would you ever need this for? You wouldn't never need this for anything. And so, but I wanted to try it out. So actually what we could do is we could try it out right here on this page. So let's give it a shot. So we can say width infinity and height infinity. I really want to do this. So you see how there's like this box right here, this CSS box, and it's kind of hard to, you see the CSS box. Let's make infinite. Let's turn this CSS box into infinite width and height. See what happens. So you just right click and click inspect element, and then it will open up here your dev console. And this is a pre-element. So what we can do is we can change the width and height to infinity. So right now it's only 351 pixels. Hey, Lorax, hi, it's good to see you, Lorax. Lorax the best, 89. We're doing a couple things here. One, we're testing out we're showing how to use and install an MCP server into Claude. And while we wait for Claude, we are testing out the infinity keyword in CSS. And we're just about to do that. What happens? So here's what I'm really curious about. What will happen when we turn this CSS box into infinity? If we actually make it, because right now it's finite, right? It's got a clear width and height, right? So it's 351 by 137. So, finite. But let's make it infinite. Let's turn it infinite. So we can add, I think there's a way to add. Yeah, so width. Let's do width, and then we say calc, C-A-C, L-C, infinity times. It's my sister's birthday. Oh, sweet. Happy birthday. That's amazing. Happy birthday. Congratulations for your birthday. Other work. Hey, how's it going, other work? We're doing a couple things here. We're playing with Claude Code and installing an MCP server and using it. And now we're about to find out. We're a few keystrokes away on the keyboard from finding out what happens when we use the infinity keyword in CSS. I imagine it's just gonna pop out. So this box here is gonna explode. 1 px and enter. It did it. Okay. It's scrolling. It's scrolling. You can barely. It just made it. It's not infinite. It doesn't. I mean, it's really long. It's really long now. So it worked. It's not infinite, but it's impractically large. Like, you would never, ever need to do this for any reason else. Maybe unless you wanted to hide some information somewhere here. So you'd have to scroll, and you'd scroll forever and ever, and you'd never be able to find it. There's no point to that, because that information is available in the source code. So you could just find it in the source code. So there's no point. Oh, when we did that, we turned all of these boxes into infinite. So they all scroll over for infinity. Well, it looks like here. So actually it says, what is this? It is 55 million pixels. So that's what it did. It turned it into 55 million pixels. What if we also say infinite height? What's it going to do that? Is it going to do anything? I don't know. Let's find out. I'm kind of curious. HEIGHT, calc infinity times 1 pixel. Go. Oh, it didn't like that. Why? Specifies height. Height calc infinity times 1 pixel. Did we get it wrong? Did we type it wrong? Is this wrong? Specifies the height of the content area padding or border depending on box sizing of certain boxes. Height. Is this wrong? It looks correct to me. This appears like it's incorrect. Calc infinity times 1 pixel. It's not working for height, but it worked perfectly fine for width. That is, what if say min height? It's not an error. Oh no, it is an error. It really doesn't like that, does it? Here, let's find out. I really want to do infinite height. We need to make it happen. I want an infinite height. It's impractical. It's completely impractical. There's no purpose for it whatsoever, but I need it. I need it to happen. Okay. I might have typed it wrong. Okay. So I typoed. Okay, here we go. We did it. It is now infinite. And oh, yep. It's too big now. It's too big. You can't do it. See, look, it's so big. I can scroll, and it just pushes everything down so far that it just blows out. It just blows out the model. Okay, so that's what it does. This is what the impracticality of infinite is. See, this is why we need finite things, so we can measure it. So it is now a box that is 55 million or almost 56 million pixels. Is it? Let me double check. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Oh, so it's 5.6 million pixels wide and 5.6 million pixels tall. There you go. That's what the infinity keyword, where you can use the infinity keyword. I don't know what you'd use it for, but we just used it, and it basically gives you near, and it's not totally infinite. Obviously, it's not infinite at all, but it's close enough, because if you went any further, it wouldn't matter. If they made that number bigger, it wouldn't matter, because it would still just be too big in the first place. So let's clean that up. Okay. I'm just curious, right before we go back to the MCP server, is there any practicality in this, or if there's anything else here? Font size? What's it going to do with font size, Calc Infinity? What is it going to do with font size, Calc Infinity? Okay. See, it was worth scrolling, wasn't it? What happens if you add infinity margins and padding? Okay, let's do that one first. Okay, I like Jay Looney. Good idea. Let's do it. What happens when we calc infinity for margins and padding? Okay, here we go. We're going to do it. All right, we're going to make it happen. All right, so we're going to add. So this is pre. All right, I believe. Let's double check that we're in the right spot. Okay, here. It's got to be this. All right. Here we go. Let's do it. All right. So margin, calc infinity. Boom. It just exploded is all it did. It exploded. It's become completely useless now. It is no longer of use. Okay. Yeah. Yep. So it scrolled all the way. Let's see if we can. I want to see if we can find anything. Yeah. I can't see anything. The margins being infinite, it hides everything. All right, let's do padding. It probably will do the same thing. I'm curious. Let's try it real quick. Let's do padding infinity. Jay Looney, good idea. Inspect. Okay. So we'll do pre-class, and let's do padding. Okay. Lorax, the best. My cousin wants to say hi. Oh, hello. Hi, how's it going? We are currently playing with infinity in CSS. And we're going to try it out on padding right now, because Jay Looney said, let's try it on padding. All right, here we go. Padding. Boom. Okay. It makes sense that it did the same thing. Almost nearly the same thing. So now the padding, you look at that. Isn't that cool? Look at this. I don't know if you can see that well on the screen, but the padding it's not quite infinity. But it is essentially infinite. It's an impractically large number, which is what infinity is in the first place. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is 5.59 million pixels in padding to the left, right, top, and bottom. So it basically exploded everything. That was neat. What else can we use infinity on? I really wanted to try font size. It's probably it probably is going to make it so big that we won't even be able to see any letters at all, because the letters will be so. It's so cool. Yeah, Lorax. It is. It's really neat. It is so neat. I don't know. I'm excited about it. I have no use for it. I have absolutely no practical use for this whatsoever. But let's check it out. I'm really curious. So I want to. On this, then I loaded I want to see what that looks like when it's infinite size. Let's see what that looks like when it's infinite size. Let's see here. Let's zoom out a little bit so I can understand. All right, so we've got our text. Okay, here we go. So we know we've got the right thing. Here we go. Font size. Are we ready for this? Are we ready? Jay Looney, I'm impressed the rendering engine is actually drawing it in 0 seconds. Yeah. Because it's such a giant number and it has to render it. Isn't that crazy? It is. It's super fast. It's impressive, the rendering engine and the performance speed. I believe Jay Looney, a lot of that is credit to, WebKit rendering engine with GPU acceleration, I think. It's impressive that it can do that, right? That's a really good observation. Hadn't considered that. All right, here we go. We're going to try infinite. It might not do it quickly. This one might take a while to load, but we'll find out this time. Here we go. Calc infinity. Boom. Okay. Off it went. Where's it? Who knows what this is? Who recognizes what this is right here? Do you recognize what this is? It's a very, try not to blast the monitor. It basically blasted the monitor just about. But can you see? Can you see what this is right here? Right, this thing right here. Do you know what that is? Chat, do you see what this is? It is all my hopes and dreams. It did exactly what I wanted it to do. I'm very happy about this. It is very satisfying. This is, here, I'll give you more hints. All right, let's scroll around so you can see what this is. So you can see, we're scrolling up and down. Yep, this looks like a letter to me. It looks like a very big letter. Here, let's close this here so we can see it a little bit better. All right, it's a very big letter. Who can guess what this letter is? What letter is this? What letter does that look like? This looks like a letter to you. I wonder what you can see. All right, yep. And then the second letter right next to it is a little more difficult to see. Oh, yep. Okay, I can see what's going on there. I wonder if I can zoom out. Can I zoom out? So you can see? Is it so it becomes easier to see? Or is it still too big? No, actually it is slightly easier to see when you zoom out. I can't zoom out any further. It won't let me zoom out any further. But here we go. So we've got what looks like the letter I. Is there, oh, it's only going to go up and down. Okay. I C, is there more? Or here we've got a W, an H, an E, and an N. All right, we got one word. Isn't it? It's just very neat. It's very completely useless. Like you don't need this for any purpose whatsoever. But this CSS infinity keyword is very satisfying. It made my day. I very much appreciate this. This was great. This CSS infinity. I was wondering, I was super curious to give it a try. What else? I don't know if there's anything else that would be more interesting to try it on. Just real quick, if we tried one more thing with CSS infinity and then we'll jump back to the MCP server, I think that'll be the plan. What else? There's some other things in here. We did margin. We did padding. We did font size. Line height. I can kind of see that would be neat. It just changes the space. Jay Looney. So the font cap is a lot less than 15 million pixels or whatever. Yeah, it is. You're right. Like, what's the actual size? Like, what is the rendered number? Like, what is the calculated number? So it's definitely much less than, millions, because it looks like it's some thousands. There's like an upper limit, clearly, because we can see, some of the letters pretty easily after we zoomed way out. But yeah, I'm kind of curious. What is, because infinity means something different in context, or because the different settings have different limits. Yeah, I think that's what it is, Jay Looney, is it has different limits on the different input values. So font size has an upper cap, like the max size of the fonts. Let's see, max font size CSS. What is it? The upper limit. What is the upper limit? I'm curious to see. No, what? I need to ask the AI a little bit more. Upper limit max size. I don't know if I can make that any clearer. CSS does not have an inherent post upper limit on the font size. It clearly does, because we set it to infinity and it didn't go to infinity. It went to some other value. So what is the absolute maximum largest font size? What is it? I'm just curious. What is the absolute maximum largest font size in CSS that you can have in terms of pixels? Let's see what it says here. Let's see. Technically, there is no limitation, which makes sense, but here we go. We got some answers. All right. Let's zoom in on this. We got some answers. The maximum font size that you can have in different browsers, because the browser, it really does have to implement a practical limitation of some sort. Different browsers have varying upper limits on font sizes. Yeah. We found out just now because we used the infinity keyword. In 2010, Firefox had a practical limit around 20,000 pixels, which is more than you need. You really don't need more than 20,000 pixel font size. But Chrome, WebKit, and Safari, they think 20,000 is not enough. 20,000 pixels is nowhere near enough. They think 1,000,000 pixels is enough. They think you don't need any more than 1,000,000, which they were right. You definitely do not need more than 1,000,000 pixel font size, but you also don't need any bigger than 20,000 pixels. There's no use for that. Older versions of Opera were known to limit CSS values to a 16-bit signed integer, which is also fine. 32,000 pixels, that's more than enough. It does one letter wouldn't even fit onto the screen. Like, you wouldn't even be able to fit that onto a screen. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Saya Bonga, hi, how's it going? Hiya. Hiya, Saya. It's good to see you. We're currently understanding the limitations of CSS when it comes to font size because we're using the keyword, the infinity keyword, and we made some very big font using infinity, and it made very big font, but you definitely can say that it's not infinite, it's finite. And we were curious, is there a limit? Yes, there is a real practical limit. But Jay Looney, I wonder, is anyone abusing 1,000,000 pixel fonts for some actual technical reason, right? Is there any real practical or technical reason that you would want to have font size at 1,000,000 pixels? Now, there's a couple of, let's brainstorm for a second. Let's brainstorm. So you do want to, you have a font, it rasterizes, and in general, letters and specific fonts will rasterize pixel perfect for the most part. So what you can do is you can draw some interesting things on the screen with very big letters, like the letter O, right? Or, for example, as a circle, you can make a very big, very nicely rendered, like anti-aliased O, like the letter O, and it can do that really fast. One of the first things that computers did that helped us interact with them was print text on the screen. That was like in the 70s, or maybe even earlier than that. Guess what? We're in 2025 now. We've gotten really good at rasterizing fonts and text on the screen. And so from a practical standpoint, technically, you could render a very large circle extremely efficiently with beautiful anti-aliasing with a very large font size. So that could be one. And then you can use overlapping things. So like layer all of these different shapes onto each other. So you've got these curvy things like an S, and you've got these O's, and you've got numbers. And so you could probably draw something pretty interesting with a very small amount of instructions provided to the browser, right? So you say very big pixel size of the font, and then you say CSS, and then you say letter spacing, and then you can specifically letter space everything together to build. It's doable, and it would run really fast. It would display beautifully from a technical perspective because it would rasterize phenomenally well. And it would just be a tiny little file that has just a very little bit of instructions in it, right? A little bit of CSS and then a little bit of text to basically draw whatever you wanted to draw. But once you've done that, it's that's the only thing I can think of. I can't really think of anything else. It does say that you do want some larger font size. So there's some practical accessibility things here. Extremely large font sizes can hinder readability. Wait. Extremely large fonts can hinder readability. Yeah, that makes sense because it disappears from the screen, especially with for anyone, but especially for visually impaired. I thought this was going to be the opposite. Isn't this going to be the opposite? If you have very large font on the screen, you should be able to see it better. So the bigger the font, the easier it is to see. I don't know. I guess they could just zoom in, which is what we're doing here. Okay, so we kind of had fun with CSS here, and so we probably want to jump back to the MCP server just to see where we're at. But this was entertaining. I like it. So we see a word here. What is this word? I'm just kind of curious. I want to see what this word is real quick, and then we'll jump back to MCP. C-A-M. Okay, came. All right, let's see here. What's the word above it? I-W. When I came. Okay, so we're reading. Okay, let's read this really quick because I think this will be fun. This is a complete waste of time, but I want to do it anyway. We're going to do it. This is what's going to happen. I'm going to read this, and we're going to figure out what. what this says. All right. When was the first word. And then we got the second word here, which is around here somewhere. Here it is. I. And then the third word came. Okay. What's the fourth word? Across. Yep. All right. There's across. What's the next word? Just the letter A. With an interesting hyperlink. Looks like to Mastodon. Some sort of art. Actually, let's check out this hyperlink really quick. Let's see what this goes to. I'm just kind of curious. Oh, just kidding. There's nothing here. Perfect. Yep. There we go. Error page. It's one of the problems. I guess one of the problems with the internet is that you can always run into issues because things can be deleted. But yeah, in this case, that link led us to kind of a fun 404 page from Mastodon. Just double checking this is a 404, right? Let's double check. Yep, 404. It's a 404 error. Okay. Yep, 404. All right, let's jump back. All right, so when I came across wait. I can't read this. What is this? T-O... toot. Oh, tweet. Oh, a tweet. Okay. But he linked to Mastodon. Hey Deepak, hi. Can you tell me where I can learn some data analyst software for free and advanced levels? Software like SPSS, R, and Stata, visualizations, and BI and Tableau in the context of public health. That's a lot, Deepak. That's a lot. That's all one giant sentence. I think just asking for help, actually. So you'll need to. That's a lot of different skills all in one. So Tableau was acquired by Salesforce as a visualization tool for data science, and I do believe it supports some of these languages. I do recommend Python though when you come to data science. Python's a better start. If you already have that from a data analyst perspective, just look up at YouTube. Just look up for YouTube tutorials. This is how I learned things over even way many years back. YouTube was the answer, and they have, and all of it's for free. Everything, the whole internet has all for free. You don't need to buy expensive college. You don't need to buy courses on the internet. You just need to watch YouTube videos and try it out. So same as SPSS R, right? R for the language, and Stata. That's the way to do it. Just look, but you need to do it on one thing at a time. So if you're going to do R, just look up R tutorials. Deepak, just asking for help. Actually, yep, there we go. So Jay Loonley, I've actually written code that renders text to the VGA text mode buffer with the code page 437 font, which is an old that it probably doesn't exist on modern computers anymore. That is really cool. Okay, so you've had probably CRT, right? So exporting through the VGA port, maybe, but also there's maybe through different drivers or different addresses that you can program in, you were able to blit pixels on, like BLIT pixels onto the screen is what you're saying. Code page 437 font. That is cool. That is you're talking about like early days graphics rendering stuff. This is really satisfying. Wasn't it great? Oh, it was so simple back then. And you know what? It was also really fast. And we didn't need these computers with gigabytes of RAM. You had just, a few, maybe some kilobytes or even a megabyte, and there was no problem. And it was fast, and it was all we need. And we still very similar today, but now we've got these giant computers. I mean, mostly probably for like video and stuff. But yeah, Deepak, Python's great start. Python would be number one. Python's absolutely number one. Thank you so much, Stephen. Yeah, happy to help. Python is number one by far from a data science perspective because you've got these notebooks like Juniper notebooks and Pi notebooks. They are great for all sorts of data science. And you can render charts and graphs. You can do all sorts of things. And it's really, really powerful and super easy. It's really accessible. And also Python is implemented in many different scenarios. So like even, I believe Excel, like Windows, Microsoft Excel, has Python, which you can use exactly in the Excel notebook. So it's really powerful from that perspective as well. There you go. You want to use Python from a data science perspective, top language choice by far. So R and the other languages that you run into, like I forgot what some other data science. I'm actually let's list it out. Let's list it out really quick. I'm very curious. What are all the data science languages? List all data science languages like R. Like there's a couple other ones in here, right? Here we go. Python's the number one. See, I told you Python was there. It's the top. It's the top by far. You want to do Python. It's so versatile because you even get things like, so here, you can get AI. You get so PyTorch is Facebook's or Meta's framework that's powering OpenAI of ChatGPT. That's PyTorch. Isn't that amazing? And that's Python. And that's like the biggest, that's like the largest stats machine in existence, right? That's what artificial intelligence is. It's a multidimensional stats machine with huge matrices. And so you can do that with Python. But then you can also do regular data science, right? We could do basic linear regression or SVMs, support vector machines with scikit-learn. And that's a lot easier to do with tabular data, like in spreadsheets and stuff like that. Jay Looney, SAS is one of them, but Python and R are usually the gets the job done. Yeah, by far, Python and R are the top from the data science perspective. But yeah, SAS is one of them. So we should be able to see SAS in here. So a couple other languages it says Julia, Scala, SAS. Here it is, Jay, right there. You're right. SAS, so what is SAS? A commercial software suite with a powerful programming language for statistical analysis and data management commonly used in regulated industries. Oh, regulated industries. That sounds like, what do you call that? Like financial industries, right? So you're going to see that a lot more in financial industries. That makes a lot of sense. Deepak, yes, in the context of public health, SQL, Python, and R are the main data analyst languages. Excellent. Yeah. They're the top. And also, so Python, SQL, and R are great. And then SAS sounds for, MATLAB. That's what I was looking for, MATLAB. That's the other one. And see, MATLAB, usually in an academic environment is where you run into MATLAB on a more regular basis, because it helps not only teach you in how to draw charts, but 3D charts, multidimensional charts, regression charts, and it helps you with data science, but it also teaches you math. So MATLAB is great from a training perspective, but practically what you really want to use is Python with NumPy, NumPy, SciPy, PyTorch, scikit-learn, and what is that? Is it Matplotlib? I think Python Matplotlib, is that the best one? Yeah, I think this is a good one. So in combination, when you're running visualizations within Python, you'll want to use Matplotlib. I use this. So I use this to report on data within our system that leverages compute cost over number of transactions that run through our system, and it visualizes it in a whole bunch of different ways. And I use Matplotlib to render the charts using Python and SQL all together. So this is my favorite combination from a data science perspective, and I use this at work in my day job constantly. I use Matplotlib plus Python plus SQL as the best data science tools. And then you use these. You use them a lot in the real world, like in professional environments. So these are really good tools that you can use. They're really great. But yeah, okay. So that was a fun dive into kind of see what. So there's a couple other languages here that they're just boilerplate. I would not call data science languages, not even close. I mean, Java. Yeah, because, here's why Java has persisted, the JVM, in a whole bunch of different languages, because it's been an academic language and a lot of students know how to use it, and they go into industry and they bring Java with them. It's not as specialized as R as Python for data science, And I would say R and Python, or even Python is number one by far. But Java has been used for big data systems. So what is it? MapReduce systems, right? So Elastic MapReduce, different big, large-scale data applications will leverage Java, but you don't necessarily have to write your code in Java. You just leverage the systems that orchestrate distributed compute for the large-scale data applications, and that's powered by Java. Same with C here, but this is kind of neat. When you're using Python and you import scikit-learn and PyTorch and NumPy, guess what? You're not using Python. You are using C. That's right. You're using C and you didn't even know it this whole time. If you're using Python with NumPy and PyTorch or scikit-learn, guess what? You're actually using C, because they're these modules in Python. You're wrapping them in Python, like to make it really easily accessible to the C underline. Because here's why: you don't want to write your code in C. You don't. It's a lot of problems can occur. You can run out of memory, and you can access reference pointers. It is a big problem. So you don't want to use them directly. You want to use Python. But you want to get the power of C, right? Isn't that great? Isn't that wonderful? It's so cool. And the biggest players in the industry are using it today. The biggest players like OpenAI, for example, even Google, they're using these frameworks like TensorFlow and PyTorch, but underlie below those things are compiled languages. So you get the high level capability of the Python, which makes it really easy and accessible for you to use. And it's why it's so popular, because it's so easy to use it. And you want to type things out quick and be productive. And so that's why Python's kind of winning from that perspective, because it's a really great higher level language, and it leverages C below it for these frameworks. So if you ever run into a situation where your Python is too slow, what you can do is actually write your code in C and then wrap it in a lib in Python, and then you can access it from Python and then get the performance of C. And so that's what that's about. Okay, so we finished up here. We looked through our CSS letters that are set to infinity, and we can barely read them, and that was fun. Oh wait, we got a question from Jay Looney here. Sparkly R. Yeah, let's also like Spark, IBM Spark. Sparkly R is one where you make a lot of money doing R. It's a whole framework on top of that gives you a lot of stuff you can get in Python. And Spark gives you the MapReduce stuff too. Yeah, Spark, the MapReduce, the Spark engine. So let's look that up real quick so we can see what Jay Looney is talking about. Spark MapReduce. Hadoop. Spark versus Hadoop for MapReduce. Yeah. Apache Spark is often compared, let's zoom out so we can see this a little bit better here, is often compared to the successor of Hadoop for MapReduce. It doesn't use MapReduce in its external execution engine the same way that Hadoop does. Instead, Spark employs a more generalized and efficient execution model based on directed acyclical graphs, or DAGs. Oh, no way. Oh, really? This whole time of transformations and actions, resilient distributed data sets, or RDDs, data frames, and data sets. So this is that acronym. If you've ever seen this acronym, DAGS, it's directed acyclical graphs. It's the next more generalized and efficient execution model compared to MapReduce. Isn't that neat? All these fun acronyms. Jay, you don't want to discount Python because it's your bread and butter for a decade plus, but R's just also good for data stuff. Yeah, I'd say R is really great for data stuff, especially compared to like what options you have on the table. Python and R are fantastic. They're great, especially in industry. They're practical. They give you a high level you can get a lot done really quick. Deepak, do you think AI will also do a better job in data analysis? Yes, we are getting there, aren't we? Or any other function that is a human in the future? Yeah, so here's one of the things our AI models are already good enough to do these things. The thing is leveraging them in a way that is practical. Here's where we were live yesterday and we were talking a little bit about this, but there is a hidden agenda from OpenAI that is very obvious to me. I can see it, and they're not hiding it either. But it's what potentially, if everyone else is on board with this, will take them to the next level. They'll take over the world. They have this thing called tool calling, and it is built into their languages and their open source models tool. These tool calls, these function calls that make the model become as deterministic as a human would. It's phenomenal, and I use it all the time. And I tell you, it does exactly what you want it to do. It's amazing at how good it is, and we just got started with it. So why isn't it exploded and take over the world yet? Because because you have to apply it to specific use cases, just like you're talking about Deepak right now. Data analysis and visualization. So it goes one step further, right? So you can analyze the data, you can aggregate the data, you can create data sets, you can visualize it. You need to go one step further and analyze it and provide an analysis, like a sort of, what do you call it? A narrative. You need to generate a narrative over the data, because that's also what the human does. Isn't that crazy? AI models are very bad at making decisions, so you always need a person who is good at making decisions to guide them. That's the thing. Yeah, you're right. That's the thing. And they are also non-deterministic. That's why, from a decision-based perspective, you need a framework around them. And this is what OpenAI did. They did this thing. They released it. And they not only did they make it open source in their GPT OSS models, but it's a core part of GPT-5. And it is the one thing you saw GPT-5. You saw like there was an initial hype with GPT-5, but then a major backlash that said, "Oh, it's not that great." It's, obviously because they under-indexed on the things that everyone was kind of used to, and they over-indexed on this new secret deterministic future that they're focused on. They believe it. And they know it. It's amazing. And I can't believe more people aren't leveraging it. Actually, I can, because it's hard. It's actually kind of difficult to use. So how can I be prepared for a better opportunity in the future? These systems can get optimized for efficiency. So learning how to leverage them. So do this. We're hedging here. Okay, we're hedging. This is what a hedge is called. So to hedge, Deepak, we're going to hedge here. We're going to make sure that you're protected in the future. This is how you do it. How are you going to be protected from AI in the future? You need to know these things. You need to know PyTorch. So make sure to teach yourself, know PyTorch, which is Meta's, Facebook's open source Python library. That's a libtorch, which is written in C, which powers OpenAI's GPT. Right, that's ChatGPT right there. This is the tech behind it. And you didn't even know that Facebook is the people who open sourced it. Ryona, hi. Yes, I remember you. Hi, how's it going? Royan, hi, how's it going? It's good to see you. Let me double check your name really quick. I'm going to paste your name on screen because I need to make sure translate. I need to translate. I'm going to make sure that I have your name here correct real quick. Let me make sure that I get your name correct. We're going to type it in. Here we go. Roianne. How does it sound? Royan? Royan. Is that how it's pronounced? Good. How are you? Great. Oh, Helen. Okay. I forgot. All right. Helen, hey, I can say Helen. Helen's a lot easier to pronounce. Heln. All right, here we go. Helen. Yeah, Helen. All right. Yeah, I remember. So real quick to jump back, PyTorch is one thing, but to hedge even further, look up OpenAI tool function calling. Here you go. Hey, Vineeth, hey, how's it going? Here's how you hedge. This is how you hedge on your future, because AI is taking over a lot of it. OpenAI's function calling, also referred to tool use, allows language models to interact with external tools or APIs perform specific tasks and retrieve information beyond their training data. This extends the model's capabilities just beyond generating text, and it goes further than that. It goes way further. It turns non-deterministic text output into a guaranteed deterministic output. It's a forced output, and it lets you do anything. You can automate anything. Let's see. Ashif, you're saying words that I don't know what they are. These are letters. I'm not familiar with them. I am not familiar with those letters. But yeah. So this is how we hedge in the future. PyTorch, Python, and then tool calling with AIs, and then you'll be able to you win, or well, you hedged basically. It's possible that it might fall out of favor because one of the problems is it's difficult to use, but it makes the AI perfectly do exactly what you want it to do. It's amazing. It's just amazing. All right. So we finished with the CSS Infinity. We're going back here. We made the letters very big and a lot of, F. Yep. So fun, Octothorpe. And then it says TRI trick, a fun trick. Yeah, it's a fun trick. There's no practical use for unlimited font size, right? Infinite font size is what we did, right? So if we inspect the element, we made it infinite. And there's no reason for it. See right here. I don't know if you can see that. It's because it's kind of hard to see on the screen. I'll try to zoom in a little bit more. But we made it infinite. We made the font size infinite. But it's not quite infinite, but it's close enough, right? Where'd it go? Text. Here we go. Text font size, calc infinity, 1 pixel. Vibe code. Yep, Vineeth. So that's what we're doing. That's what we started with. So we started with Claude MCP, getting that up and running, and we did. We got it up and running, and we do need to go back to it here. Okay, so here we are. Let's say proceed onward. Here. So for everyone else who has just joined, we'll kind of scroll back. So we started the stream specifically focused on MCP and how to use it and how to leverage it in Claude Code. So number one, the first thing you want to list your MCP servers. So Claude MCP list. From getting started, there will be no MCP servers at all. There will be none there. So you want to say Claude MCP add pubnub, which is the name of the MCP server. You could give it whatever name you want. I just said pubnub. And then you can say scope user. This is a really good tip. So when you're adding MCP to Claude, make sure to say scope user. Because what this does is it prevents you from having to constantly re-add the MCP server. It makes it available always. So it's really beneficial. Then you say dash dash or hyphen to specify what the MCP starting server command is. So npx-y at pubnub/MCP. And that will install the MCP server. So it says added the MCP server. And we did it! You've successfully added the MCP server to Claude. And what you can do from there is you can confirm that it's installed. So you say Claude MCP list, and then it will print it out. And so now we can vibe code. Now we can vibe code with pubnub and using the MCP server. So you build an MCP host or client. So we built a client that you can download through NPX. Oh, actually, it's a good point. Okay, so this is a server. This is the MCP server, and the client will be Claude, right? Because the client is the user of the system, and the host is the server. So the MPC server here. So we've got the MCP server, which is running through stdio, which is JSON RPC stdio, which is the standard for MCP servers. And that runs in a separate Node.js process on your own system. That's kind of how it works. So if we were to draw that, actually, let's do a quick little drawing to see what that looks like. Let me open up some sort of drawing app. Is there like an online drawing app? I know there's like a PhotoPad or a Sketch. Is there just like a really easy one that we can use? Start drawing. Okay. Let's see if we can do this. Let's see if we can make this possible. So there's an auto draw. Interesting. A fill. Is that okay? I think that's good enough. I think we're good. Okay. So how do MCP servers work? So you build MCP host or client. You can do both. You can build either. Which server? So typically when you're building MCP, you're talking about building the MCP server, because that's the one that's going to be connected to by clients such as the AIs. The AIs are the client. So you've got something like Chat GPT. You've also got Claude Code, right? You've got OPEX or Codex, and you've got Gemini. These are the clients. So these will be the clients, the MCP clients. There we go. That's how that looks. So these are the MCP clients. And then from there, you have the MCP server. So let's see what the MCP server looks like. That will be a list, or you might want to. Really? Oh, Jay Looney, that's a good one. Okay, so you say Excaldra. Let's try that out. EXCALIDRA. Excalidra. It's like Excalibur, right? Oh, sweet. That's kind of what we're looking for. Ooh, I like this. This is sweet. Oh, this is a good one. This is very satisfying. Okay. Very nice. Thank you. Yeah. All right. So let's see if we'll just port this over. Let's see if we got some text here. Let's get this back. All right. So we've got our Chat GPT. Can we make it bigger? Can we make the font bigger? How do we do that? Let's just keep clicking plus. Okay. MCP host equals MCP client. Kind of. Yes, you're right. Okay, so what you're saying there is you're putting equal signs in between them because they connect between each other. So that's a really good visualization. So we've got the MCP clients here, and then we also have some MCP hosts. So MCP hosts, which will be the server, right? For example, that would be our PubNub MCP server. So this is the host, and how it connects to itself. Let's see if we can do this. Let me see. Draw like a line. Here we go. And that does that through standard IO, JSON RPC standard IO between the two. So we go here and we say std IO JSON, and it's basically RPC, which means that there's no headers. It's just raw JSON in, raw JSON out in between them. And this typically, commonly this is Node.js via NPX. There you go. And so that's the common interface. But you can also have Docker, and you can have anything else that's an executable, any kind of binary on the machine. The reason why NPX is you can also have VUI, I think, VUX, I think, is a Python version. So you can have a Python version of that. And this essentially, so let me copy beneath, I'm going to copy and paste your, I'm going to copy and paste your example, which is the ultimate implementation. So here we go. So MCP connects into the client like this. So see if we can make that font size a little bit bigger. There we go. Here we go. And that's kind of what that looks like. So you get the MCP host, which is actually I got to reverse those because I drew them differently. Here we go. Boom. So on the left, you've got the clients, the MCP clients. And these are things like ChatGPT, Claude Code, and Codex, and Gemini. There we go. And then on the other side is the host, which is the server. So, and that can be run with Node.js or Python or Docker or things like that. And so that's how the MCP server works. And then your AI will, it doesn't directly, obviously the LLM itself doesn't directly make calls. What makes calls to the server, the host, is the client aspect, which is the agent. This is the AI agent, and the AI agent typically does two things. It wraps things together. So it's the merging of the two. So let me see if I can draw it. Actually, we can build host also as well. Yeah, you totally can. Absolutely. It kind of looks like this. Let me see how I can think of it. So you've got what the agent will combine these two things. So the agent lives outside of this. The agent is here. Agent. The agent will combine these. So it combines the AI model, and then it uses the AI model by submitting the instructions. So we can actually go over here. See here. Okay. So what we can do is /MCP. So we see PubNub is here, and we view the tools. So here's a list of all the tools and the MCP server. So you get a bunch of different tools. And what the agent does is it will say, hey, AI model, check this out. Here's all of the tools that are available. All the tools that are available. So it takes all the tools that are available, and then it passes them over to the AI model. And then the AI model will then decide, does it want to call that MCP tool? And then the AI agent will recognize the request for that and do the call for it. So there's actually 3 pieces of software here. It's kind of, there's a lot of indirection, but it's kind of neat how it works. And it's all done through standard IO. And so when I drew these arrows initially, they weren't quite right. These are not quite right from an arrow perspective. It's really more that the agent is interacting betwixt the two, between the two. So it kind of goes like this. So the agent is orchestrating everything, and the agent in this case, could be any kind of software. It's another Node.js thing or some sort of UI, and that's kind of how that works. Okay. So now let's check this out. Let's jump back here. Okay. We have some packages. Okay. Command timed out. We don't need to worry about that. I think we did it. Oh, it couldn't test. Okay, so we're almost done. So before we end stream here, we want to make sure that this looks good. We want to make sure that the MCP is all happy and we got everything that we needed. So let's see what we got. Let's see what it built for us. All right, so we've got app.js, chat.js, demo.js, index. Let's open up package.json. Let's see what it gave us. Okay. Dev dependencies, which is interesting because I was very sure I was going to see some other dependencies here, because we asked for them. Dep. Yeah, no dependencies. Weird. I'm all right. Well, let's find out. So we can say npm start. Is that what it wanted? Yep. npm start. Let's see. Okay. Let's see if that works. Okay. Is it going to work? It's always a gamble. This is always a gamble. Oh, oh wow! Check that out. Oh, it looks so cool. Oh, you can't see it on you because I jumped over to a different screen here. Let's pop it open. All right. So now you can see it. Check this out. So by using the MCP, it built essentially a near perfect clone for Twitch, the Twitch app. Isn't that neat? And that's just all through using the Twitch server. Oh, wait, I'm going to pause that. Hold on. I don't know what that video is. I have no idea what that video is, but it could be copywritten. So I don't want to, just from a caution perspective, I don't want to be careful. Can't see the whole screen. It should show up here. Yeah, it should show up here in a bit. So we've got our Twitch video on the left side, and then we've got a chat here. And so start demo. Let's see. I bet you we have to do some configuration. Oh, whoa! What's going on? I don't know. It's doing something. Oh, viewer 3. This is a lot cooler than I thought it was going to be. I was not expecting that at all. Look at that. Oh, that's so cool. And that's wow, I was not expecting that. So you can see here we're having like the AI has a sense of humor. Oh, that was great. I love that. This is fantastic. It built the whole UI for us, and it's even demonstrating it for us, and we're just sitting here. Isn't that great? Oh, wow. I love that. What the heck? This is maybe better output than I've ever seen. Isn't that cool? Jay Looney, you're so right. And here's why. It's because it's the MCP server. That's what the power of the MCP server is, and that's what this stream is about. It makes it so much better. What are your thoughts about Gemini 3? It's fantastic. It's a powerful model from a coding perspective. It also is great from generating code. Just testing it myself, I've had really good experience. I do still list Claude Code above the others, just from because it's mostly the framework, right? The Claude Code CLI is a really good workflow. They've just kind of nailed that workflow, the dev cycle, the iterative dev cycle. You define the spec, it writes the code, it reads the code, and then it fixes errors, and it goes through that loop, and it just does a really good job. I think it does a really good job. And so for Gemini to catch up, they need to have a similar experience, which they've done. See, look at I love how it's just doing this for us. That is so cool. So yeah, it did it. There's a subscribe button and there's a follow button. Oh, that is fantastic. All right, I had the best time. This was the best time. Real quick, what is Gemini version of Claude Code? What is that called? It's called, there's a name for it. They've come out with it. I can't remember what it is. It's the Gemini version. It's the Gemini CLI, but it's got a name. It's got a name for it. Do you know what it is? Oh, you prefer Sonnet 4? Oh yeah, Sonnet 4 is the best. Yeah, you're totally right. Beneath Sonnet 4 is amazing. I like Sonnet 4. Gemini 3. It works too, but I have to do more work. And here's the thing that you want with AIs. You want the AI to do as much of the work for you as you can, right? You want the AI to do all the work for you, and you want to be able to sit back. And so I found that Claude Code has done a really good job with that. Like a really, really good job. It makes it so much easier just to sit back and have it do everything for you. As you can see here, look, check it out. It built this whole experience for us. I'm really curious what this video is. I'm not going to go too far. Oh, wait, what is it? I have no idea what this is. It just came out of nowhere. But so like Sonnet built this for us. Isn't that great? But with the MCP server. So that's it. That's the victory here. And we had raids. Let's test the raid again. Raid. I thought that was really cool. That is really neat. Wasn't that satisfying? Okay, so I think that does it for us. That we achieved our goal. So we did it. We achieved the goal. We used Claude Code. We installed the PubNub MCP server. And then at the same time, we were able to get it to write a full app for us. Wasn't that great? It even includes, like, I love this. This is so cool. All right, so I need to share this with other people. I think this is a triumph. So yeah, this is the power of combining an MCP server with a coding agent like Claude Code. It can go that much further. And with a simple prompt, I mean, I'll show you. The prompt was just so simple. And then I got to get going because I got another meeting coming up here. But let's check this out. Let's jump up here. It was a really simple prompt. Here we go. Run. Almost there. Here we go. This is it. We're looking at it right now. Here it is on the screen. I've highlighted it. It's right here. Write a PubNub app using PubNub MCP server to build a Twitch-style app with live streaming, chat on the right side of the video. And then I specified an architecture for guidelines, which just says, use React and Redux and things like that. And that's it. Boom. And then it built this for us. Isn't that cool? And it even included a real working video. What is this video? I don't know. I don't want to show too much because it might be, it kind of looks create like copywritten content. So I don't want to play too much of it because it could be copywritten content. We did it. We win. We succeed. Isn't that great? This was a lot of fun. We did a lot of things this stream here. Okay, so before we go, we'll talk about what we did this stream, and then we got to go because I got some meetings, actual work. I've got to actually work. Here we go. Check this out. So we built this amazing thing. Actually, we had the AI build it for us. We couldn't have done it without the PubNub MCP server. So Google PubNub MCP server. and you'll run into some marketing pages, but also Google has some information for us. I'm back at my cousin's home. Cool, Lorax, the best. You're back at your cousin's house. Cool. We are just wrapping up stream here. We're just kind of saying what we did, what happened, and how what happened during the stream. So we're just doing a quick review. So we used the PubNub MCP server, which is an open source AI-enabled development environment for interacting directly with PubNub's SDKs and global infrastructure. So this is what makes that interactive capability, right? We're chatting in YouTube chat, you're chatting in Twitch chat. Well, PubNub gives you the same capability. It sort of empowers those experiences, but it goes further because you can interact in different ways, like all these like cool little things that show up on the screen that counts as interactions. That counts as interactions on the stream. And so that's what the MCP server does. And then you plug that into Claude Code, and it becomes a really easy to use command line system. You have to sleep in 3, 2, 1. Oh, you're going. Okay, totally makes sense. You've got to go to sleep. It makes sense. It's totally fine. You got to do that, Lorax. It's important. Sleeping is really important. The better the sleep, the more the sleep, the better. Because then, isn't it cool? One time we should talk about dreams, because I am curious about chat's dreams. What kind of dreams do you have? Do you have normal human everyday life dreams, or do you travel the stars and go into time and you can walk through walls and you can make things happen? Like, I'm just kind of curious what kind of dreams you have. But this was it. This is all we did. We just wrote this simple prompt and it built this for us using the PubNub MCP server. Isn't that cool? It's amazing. And it built this wonderful, and it's mobile friendly too, which is amazing. Like you can see like it's responsive design. It's really cool. So I can zoom in. Now it's a mobile view, right? I love it. It's so cool. And then we also, what else would we do here? We talked about how an MCP server works. We kind of walked through that. So we did some MCP server client and host descriptions and how STD IO JSON RPC. And then for fun, we just made fonts infinite. We made them really big using the infinity keyword in CSS. And it does make them very big. There you go. And so that's how we did this stream. It was a lot of fun. I'm actually kind of curious how we did. Yep, we did an hour and 17 minutes, which is good. That was a good stream. Really happy about that. And we did it. Is there anything else? Am I forgetting anything else? Did we do anything else? I think that was it. I think we did it. I think that was it. So thank you everyone for jumping in. I'm going to head out now. Got to do some other work, some real work. And talking about the secret power of OpenAI's capabilities. We did talk about data science, right? We did talk about the different things that you can do in data science. Python, SQL is the good ones. So we did have a little mini data science conversation. And then we talked about how AIs are really powerful, and there's a hidden secret capability in AIs that is going to be taking over, and it's called OpenAI's function calling. This turns non-deterministic output into deterministic output, and it guarantees it. It's 100% guaranteed. Whereas in non-deterministic output, that means it's going to give you random text. How do you even automate something like that? You can't just automate anything like that. It just won't work. It just doesn't work. So that's you need something like this in a framework. And this is actually a lot of the power is behind why Claude Code is so good, because it kind of uses a similar approach. And that's what you get with MCP servers as well. So I think we did it. I think we did it. We talked about MCP servers. We built the app. It did a really good job. It made it a lot of fun. It built the UI for us, and it was beautiful. So we did it. Thank you everyone for jumping in. I'm gonna head out. We'll be back tomorrow. I really want to try to be back tomorrow, but it might have to be early because, or really late in the day because I've got back-to-back meetings. But we'll find out. But it was great. Thank you everyone for stopping in. We're headed out now. We'll see you again tomorrow, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you. We'll hang out again later. We're headed out. We're done. We finished. We win. We did it. We win. Hi, Mojave. We're just leaving. You got here just in time, right where we're leaving. We're saying goodbye. We're done for today. We did it. We achieved our goal. We did it. We made it work. And it worked way better than we thought with one simple prompt. And that's how powerful the PubNub MCP server is. Isn't that great? It's all you got to do is just install the MCP server, and then you get a lot better outputs. It just is a much better experience. It was so great to see you all here today. We're heading out. Thank you again. Yeah, I know I've been saying goodbye for like the last 10 minutes, but we're actually leaving now for real this time. Thank you again for hanging out. We'll see you tomorrow, and